Hello everyone, yes, another Numatic cleaner to look at today. It's a little bit different, it's not one you can buy now, and in fact it's not one I should have been able to buy, but I've bought this, it's quite a while ago actually. I didn't realise I hadn't even opened it. This has been sitting in my garage for ages, and this came from the same eBay seller that sold the two-tone grey Numatic, if you remember that machine. That was rather unusual. This is the same type of machine, I think, but it's branded Dirk Muller. And if you Google Dirk Muller on the interweb, you'll find he is a racing driver. But in the case of this Henry, I think Dirk Muller, or Muller, refers to a company that deals with contracting out cleaning firms and building servicing and that sort of thing. So I think this has nothing to do with Dirk Muller, the racing driver, although if you're a fan of him, you could buy a Henry with his name on it. So I think that's what we're going to find in this box. It's not a Henry 240 Plus. I think inside the box we have a 180 Plus size machine. It'll be this one here, pictured on the box. Model PPR180. So without any further ado, let's get him open. So as I said, this was not intended for the UK market. This would have been an order from Dirk Muller, the company. They would have ordered a certain number and had their logo printed on. And this is quite common with Numatic. If you go on eBay, you can see all sorts of different brands of Henry cleaner with different names on them for different cleaning companies. And I'm assuming, ooh, that's different. I can't even remember if the two-tone grey machine had this nozzle, but with this particular one we've got this metal based, it's quite a wide head, twin pedal down with the brushes down for hard floors. Yeah, metal base plate, litter pickers. So this is your more old school Numatic nozzle. Then we have the ones you get normally like with a James or a Charles. Oh, that's stuck under the cleaner. You don't want to come out, do you? There we are. Hope there's nothing wrong with this because it's ages since I bought it. So we've got the lighter ones with this one, but they'll still do the job. They're lighter but strong. Then we have a hose, of course, and it looks like it's a standard hose with a short cuff. It's not tapered, just your regular hose. So this would have been made to the specification that the company wanted. And feeling the bag, you don't have quite so many of the small tools. Let's try and open it without causing myself any damage. So we have a crevice tool, which is a very useful tool to have. We have a dusting brush. Oh, and that's it. Let's throw the packaging away. Then we have the curved handle with the suction relief valve. We have the instruction book. No colour pictures here, very basic. And then we have the cleaner himself. This particular cleaner is black and lobster red. I'm not sure if it is a slightly different colour red to a standard Henry. I'd have to get a standard Henry out and compare them. It does look a little bit different. It just could be my eyesight's failing, but there is a slight different tinge about the body of this Dirk Muller, and I've no idea how to pronounce this. So any German viewers watching, well, that's not going to help, is it? You're not going to be able to tell me how to pronounce it unless you post a video or I look online to see if there's any online presence. It was quite hard finding Dirk Muller again. I couldn't find their website. I could before, but I I kept coming up with the racing driver. So I believe this is the same more or less body shape as the two-tone grey one, which to my mind is one of the smartest looking Henry type cleaners. But yeah, so this has got the rather different cord rewind system, and because it's commercial, we've got a high visibility cord, because obviously cleaning up in a commercial environment, you don't want your customers or workforce to be tripping over the cord when you're vacuuming. Normally, of course, the cleaners come in long before the normal workers. They come in early morning. I used to do that. Come in at the crack of dawn, clean the carpets and the offices and the factories and the shops before everyone else turns up. So normally you've finished your vacuuming, or hopefully you've finished your vacuuming before everyone comes in. But if you have to continue vacuuming when there's people walking about, hopefully they will see this mains cord. La-di-dum. Let's pull it out. This might be a 12.5 metre cable on this model. I'll have to check the instructions. It is quite long. Let's take that. There we go. That's finished. Because this was made in the UK in the factory in Somerset, but because it was an export model, we do have, and this has been fitted probably by the seller, they've fitted one of these adapters on because it will have a 2-pin Euro plug. But with this adapter, I'll be able to plug it directly into my 3-pin socket. So with this design, as I showed you in the two-tone grey one, you can actually change the cable a bit easier. So in a commercial environment, if the cable becomes damaged, it's important that the cleaner's not out of action for long. So with just one Phillips or posi drive screw, that's all you need to remove this cover. I'll quickly show you it in this video now, just in case you haven't seen my previous one. So I believe we undo this screw here, remove the cover, and then we've got a little cover here. I think we have to push up or push down. I can't remember now. It's not playing ball. I think what I had to do last time was get a flathead screwdriver and just help it along its way. Oh dear, it doesn't want to come out, and I don't want to cause any damage to the plastic. Oh, this ratchet screwdriver is moving. Oh, there we go. Right, it's popped off. Whew. That was a workout. So once you've struggled getting that cover off, you'll see that the high-vis cable is plugged in here. We can just unplug it and swap it over. So yes, it is easier certainly than a standard Henry, where you'd have to dismantle, take the top off and, you know, rewire. So this is quicker. And then we've got to put it back. Hang on, I need to line it up with the cutout here, don't I? Feed the cable through the slot, down the hole there. Just make sure I've plugged it in properly, and then I can put this cover back. Hopefully it'll go back on easier than it came off. Oh, hang on, there we go, got to move that round a bit. Are you going to go in? There we are. Yep, that's fine. And then all I need to do now is just replace the cover. There we go. Ready for use now. And of course, the cable winds in like a standard Henry. Although with this particular version, the handle forms part of the cable reel mechanism, so the handle moves around as well. We'll have a look at the rating sticker in a minute, but for now we'll just pull out the rest of the cable. It does seem a lot smoother action than the standard Henry. At the back it looks very like a standard Henry. We've got a position here for the only 2 cleaning tools supplied with this model, so we don't have to piggyback them like you do with the standard Henry that comes with 4 accessories, including the little adapter piece, so we can plug any small tool directly to the end of the hose. You don't get that with this, but of course this will be compatible with all the Numatic 32mm accessories anyway. But for some reason the company who ordered the Dirk Muller brand Henry specified this toolkit, which is a kit NA1, and incidentally it is a 12.5 meter cable supplied. We've got the little parking slot on the back where we can park the main carpet and floor nozzle, and we don't have any glamour caps on this particular Numatic, just black wheels, no matching red cap on this. These are a slightly smaller capacity, I think. They're a little bit squatter. They are, the top it's more like a full-sized Henry, but I think the tub, the dirt bin where the dust bag goes, is a little bit lower. So yeah, so it's a 180 size, and a standard Henry is a 200, and a compact Henry is a 160. So he's in between a compact and a full-sized Henry. Let's have a quick look at the rating sticker. So this Numatic cleaner is 220 to 240 volts, 50 to 60 hertz, 620 watts. The serial number is 2202 17884. So I think this is a fairly recent model. I must have only bought it last year then, in 2022. And I think 02, I think that's week 2 of 2022, or is it month 2? I'm not sure. But definitely this dates from 2022. PPR180-11, Numatic International Limited. This particular Henry type cleaner, we can't call him Henry because he doesn't say Henry on him. He is a Dirk Muller, but he's Henry's German cousin, I'm going to say. We have the controls on the front, which I think is a better place for them rather than on the back. They're easier to see, but it's a standard single speed motor, on, off, and mains indicator. And you might know that the Numatic Charles and George being the multifunction and Charles being wet and dry, there's a restyle of those machines out, and they've gone to front mounted buttons, a different style as well, which I think will be easier to press. On my George, those buttons that are covered with the splash proof covers, they're a bit hard to press sometimes. So there's a new design George and Charles. You can check those out at myhenry.com. I would have been showing you one of the new style Charleses quite a while ago, and I did order one when they first came out, but My Henry sent me the old version, so it went straight back, and I didn't order another one. I wasn't very happy about that because they were showing the new model on their website, so I assumed I'd get the new version. So it's very similar to the previous one, but it has got the front mounted on-off switch on the Charles, but there is a better cord storage. Instead of just one hook at the back, I think there's a better way of storing the cord on the new Charles and George. So if you want one of those, before you order, I suggest you check that you will get the new version and not the old one. Yes, I wasn't a happy bunny when that happened, so you won't be seeing, at the moment anyway, the new Charles on my channel. So, yes, I do like the front mounted on-off switch. So we've got the same catches. Take off the motor unit. There we go. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing new if you've watched my other Numatic videos. We've got the standard filter, and we've got one bag supplied, one bag fitted. Don't get a spare bag. HEPA flow. This is NVM1CH, this way up. And of course you've got a little seal and a flap to cover the opening when you remove the full bag from the cleaner. So we'll pop that in. Whoops. There we are. Like so. Tuck it in, make sure the bag isn't sticking out. Pop the filter back on. Someone asked me, I can't believe this was a question, they didn't know what this was for. Yeah, I told them it was the filter, and you must have the filter in place. You could try using a Henry type cleaner without the filter, but the filter also forms part of the seal. So you really need the filter in place, and of course a bag. Again, you can use Henry without a bag. I personally wouldn't. You can get HEPA flow bags very cheaply. Really, considering the size of the bags, they're widely available. They last for ages. they might start to smell after a while. So it may be a good idea to slip an air freshener underneath the filter if you want to maintain a nice fresh smell when vacuuming. So we'll pop Dirk's head back on, make sure he's lined up properly, and we'll plug him in. I think he should work. He is in the off position. Right, Dirk, are you going to have a strange German sounding motor, or are you just going to sound like every other Numatic I've shown on the channel? We've got, just about see the mains on light, illuminated. Can't see it very clearly because I've got bright lights on at the moment, but under normal circumstances, under normal conditions, you'll see that quite clearly. Okay, come on Dirk, it's time to speak. You sound very nice, Dirk, very quiet. Henrys aren't noisy cleaners anyway, but that sounds very lovely. I've no idea why this ended up for sale on eBay, and I've no idea why the two-tone grey one ended up on eBay either, but glad to have something a little bit different to show you in the Numatic line. Because, you know, once you've seen one Henry, you've seen them all. Obviously, there are slight differences between all the models. And a lot of Henry collectors will say they're totally different to what you could get years ago. And I've got a few older ones. I haven't got very old ones. I've tried to collect a few older machines, more different machines to show you. But if you're looking at a Henry cleaner from the current range, they're all much of a muchness. The main machines are the same. You're just basically choosing whether you want a compact machine or full size, and what tools you want and what filtration you want. One day I might do a video of a selection of my cleaners, and I'll show you the differences between them, 2 or 3 or 4 or however many I can fit, whoops-a-daisy, into my living room, because I can assure you my Numatic family would fill my living room very easily. So we've got the curved handle. You can have it on this way, you can have it on this way, and you can also attach the wands directly to the hose. And I showed this in my Henry home video, did a little bit of a full house clean where I was cleaning some dusting with a dusting brush higher up. So you can put this onto the end of the wand like so, and then pop the dusting brush on the end, or the crevice tool, and you can clean tops of curtains and pelmets and high shelving like this. So you don't have to put it where it normally goes. For carpet cleaning and floor cleaning, you'd normally have it this way around. So it's quite versatile, and for what this cleaner was made for, I mean, I'm sure this was designed to clean shops and offices, so possibly you could understand why there's no upholstery nozzle. But of course people do sit down in chairs. They sit down on chairs in offices, and even in shops they have some chairs for the poor husbands to sit down while the wife is trying on the umpteenth dress and husband is falling asleep. So they do provide chairs. That's a stereotype, of course. Some husbands enjoy shopping, perhaps, I don't know. But on the whole, most husbands go with the wives while they're clothes shopping and are bored out of their skulls. Right, so you can pop the nozzle on. I don't know if this is going to work very well on my plush pile carpet. This is really designed for contract carpeting, the sort of carpeting you get in shops and offices. Next time you're in your local shop, have a look down at the carpet they use. It won't, on the whole, be a plush pile. It'll be a short, easy to clean pile carpet. And this is where this sort of nozzle excels. It'll just whiz over that type. But on this particular carpet in a house, not sure if it's going to be quite so easy to push, but we're going to try you out, Dirk. We're going to give you a bit of a push on my carpet. Well, Dirk and his standard nozzle certainly gave me a workout on my plush pile Saxony carpet, but as I said, because the Numatics use a standard 32mm friction fit, you can put a multitude of different heads onto the end, and oh crikey, that has fused in quite quickly. I did have to push and pull quite hard. There we go. Whew. So you can fit turbo nozzles like this Vesselwerk standard sort of budget turbo nozzle, or their more deluxe turbo nozzle fits. Or we've got other heads. Here we've got another used metal base plate Vesselwerk nozzle, and one of the low energy ones with the wide nozzle. But all these fit onto Dirk's wand like so. This nozzle's been used by SIBO definitely, and Miele, I think, other companies. We'll give this a go, shall we? Let's quickly try out all these three nozzles. So if you've got a Henry and you find them very hard to push on your carpet, the problem isn't really with Henry, it's with the supplied nozzle. Although I have to say, although I don't like it very much, the nozzle you now get with a standard Henry or Hetty is a little bit better on deeper pile carpet. But Dirk was made for commercial environments. He was made for short pile carpeting, really. So we can't really blame Dirk for being very hard to push. This might be hard to push. We'll try on full suction. Oh yes, pretty hard, but at least this nozzle doesn't skip as you pull it back like the supplied one. I'm going to have to reduce the suction. Oh yeah, much better. So yeah, that was certainly easier. What about this one? These all look very good with Henry. They go, well, with Dirk, sorry. They all look very good. They look like they could be supplied with this machine. Go back to maximum. Oh, that is hard. This is one of the lower energy ones. Yeah, that has clamped itself down. Crikey. Oh, I can hardly push that, folks. I didn't realise I'd be showing you a workout video today, but looks like I am. I can't move that. Reduce the suction. Ooh. Blimey, even with reduced suction, that was difficult. It's definitely a Vesselwerk one. I can see the branding on it. This is what we have to put up with if you live in an EU country, even if you live in the UK, that we're not supposed to be part of the EU anymore, but we're still under their rules. This is what happened when they reduced the wattage of cleaners. The manufacturers had to design nozzles to still give you the pickup performance, but it makes them very hard to push on many types of carpet. Absolutely ludicrous. So I think now we're going to incorporate a turbo nozzle with a rotating brush. Should be easier to push. This is the sort of budget priced Vessel. And if I can find the links, if I've got any links to Amazon, I'll pop them below the video for the various heads I'm showing you. Not bad. Still hard to push though, blimey. I'm gonna have a rest after this video. But this doesn't have any adjustment. There's no bleed valve or regulator on this basic turbo nozzle. For short pile carpet, fine, it'll be okay, but not for this type. So this is the more deluxe. SIBO use this design on some of their cleaners. I think Miele uses similar. I think they're all Vesselwerk designs. The Miele one just has a clear window, but it's a very similar sort of thing. This does have a control for different carpet heights. The Miele one has the dial. This just has the slide control. So if we have it open fully, it means that the brush roll should rotate at full speed without bogging down. And yeah, they've got nice stiff brushes on this one too. This one did come with an adapter to make it suitable for 32mm, which is jammed in there at the moment. So this I think was for 30 Could be for a 35mm as supplied, but it did come with this little adapter. So it's a shame that's not red. Would go much better with Dirk. I think this is my favourite nozzle. I've shown this with some cleaners that came with it. The last cleaner I showed with this nozzle, well, very similar to this, was the Miele Compact Cat and Dog. And I've shown SIBOs with this same nozzle as well. Yeah, definitely. Whew, it's still hard to push, but it did work when I had the adjuster completely closed. It still worked, and I could hear the brush roll spinning, but it was hard work. I found on my particular carpet about midway, so that's fully open, so about sort of the mid section, and I found that with the Miele that has the rotary dial, sort of halfway open, was the best for my plush pile carpet. So, you do have options if you've got a pneumatic cleaner that's hard to push. You can get other nozzles to try. So definitely this is my favourite turbo nozzle. But of course you can buy a Henry with the included turbo nozzle, which is certainly better than the standard nozzle. But in my opinion, not quite as good as this one, although this is going to cost you around £50 odd, quite expensive really. So yeah. I've said it before, you can improve even the most mediocre vacuum cleaner with a decent nozzle, and you can make one of the better vacuum cleaners, one with good suction. If you put a poor nozzle on it, it's ruined. So if you swap and change nozzles to find which is best for you, it's a shame we have to do it and not the manufacturer. But as I said, to be fair, this machine, Dirk, is designed for cleaning offices, commercial environments, shops, and they never, on the whole, unless it's the Ritz or somewhere, although to be honest, the Ritz is a dump. I had tea at the Ritz once. It's a very famous hotel in London, and the only thing I noticed while having my delicate cucumber sandwiches and fairy cakes, one thing I noticed was the state of the carpet and the upholstery. They could do with a good clean. I could have brought my George, cleaned the upholstery, and the carpet certainly needed a deep clean. But they were, although they were a fancy design carpet, as I recall, they were a pretty short pile. And I expect they used Henrys to clean the Ritz, possibly SIBO uprights, who knows. So, right, I'm going for a lie down now because Dirk has really given me a workout, but I thought I'd show you him. I noticed he was in my garage, unopened and unloved. Now he's been on my channel, he'll be shoved back in the garage. One day he will come out again. I keep promising it, well I never promise, but one day, at some point, I'm hoping this year folks, 2023, you will see all my pneumatics in the same room, if they'll fit, because I must have about 70 by now. 70 pneumatics, all very similar, with a few special models that make a little bit of a difference, but yeah. Once you've used one Henry, basically you've used them all, but I'm sure I'll get people saying, no, there's some very different Henrys out there, buy them. Yes. But anyway, that's the Henry for today, or the Dirk for today. Hope you've enjoyed the video. And as I said, I'm going for a well-deserved lie down. Thumb up, subscribe, and I'll see you all very soon for the next video. Bye for now.